record and hand it over to Jess. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Thank you for being
here. Thanks, Becca. You guys, I am so honored to speak to your team. Becca has just been incredible, and learning from her, as you all know, is just an honor and a blessing. So it's fun to be able to talk to you guys tonight. And it's actually really funny to me that I'm talking to you about free groups, because I literally hated free groups for a very long time. I thought they were, I hate to say it, but I felt like they were a huge waste of time. I used to try them, and I would do like a 5-day group or a 7-day group. And I don't know, I just felt like I would be pouring into it and nothing would really happen. And the people that were in them didn't really fully engage, and it just wasn't my jam. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and then why I decided to get into free groups. I have been a coach since July 3rd, 2014. So it's been about 23 months. It has been a ride. I remember going to an event as a customer and hearing Lindsay Stay speak and thinking, dang, like if that girl can do it, like maybe I could do this, because her story was just so incredible and so in depth. And I thought, it was tugging on my heart. I had lost some weight. I had gained like 50 pounds nursing. If any of you mamas are out there, I was the weird exception to the rule where normally people lose weight nursing. I gained weight and fell in love with the 21-day fix. And I was a worship director at a church, and I was the director of connections at the time. So I had gained a lot of weight in front of a lot of people, and I had lost a lot of weight in front of a lot of people. So I had people that were really interested, and I felt like maybe this could be for me. So just really, poured my heart into it, prayed about it, felt like I was supposed to do it. And so I went for it. And, if you are a newer coach on this call, I really, really, really encourage you, although this isn't the overall message of this talk, I just encourage you to go all in. I think that, sometimes we can get stuck being a toe dipper, and you just never really fully know what could come out of this. I ended up growing very fast. I have other coaches on my team who did not, who are very successful and are doing amazing and, loving it. And so it really doesn't matter if you go really fast or really slow. That doesn't matter. It's more of if this is meant for you. And I'll be the first person to tell you that the first 10 people I talked to that I thought would join my team and be part of this with me and build this empire all said no, and still to this day have never bought a challenge pack. And we're talking family and close friends. And so I think the absolute best thing that I did right away was when I saw something like that, I didn't let it beat me up. I just went, okay, those people are not the right people for my team. And the people that are people I never would have guessed would be, and we're family now. So it's kind of amazing how that happens. And, I've just always wanted my relationships to be protected, and they have been. And so the people that are right will join you. And so, it's interesting because like I said, I grew fast, and I had 17 months of like, go, and rank advancing and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I kind of hit this desert, if you will, we kind of go through these seasons of harvest and then a season of desert. And I went through this season where all of a sudden I had multiple deaths in my family. I, as a coach, struggled with a binge eating disorder pretty badly. I went from gaining like 15, 20 pounds as a coach. And now I've gotten that back down, but that was really hard for me. Just feeling kind of like a failure and all of these things. And, in 2015, January, I was a diamond coach. And then at the end of at the end of 2015, I was an 11-star coach, and it had just been awesome. And then it just was really hard all of a sudden. And so I decided, you can either be a complainer or you can be a doer. And I decided that I was not okay with not having a solution to this. And even though it was really supposed to be the best time of the year and I didn't feel like it was for me, I was going to try something new, because if something's not working, you got to go in and you got to figure out what may work. And so I started to look at this whole free group thing. and really think about if this could be a good opportunity. And before I dive into that, I just want to say that I really had to remember during that time too, if you're struggling, that this is not what I have to do. This is what I get to do. And coaching for me isn't an obligation, it's an opportunity. And every day I ask myself, and I tell my team to ask themselves at the end of the day, would you hire yourself or would you fire yourself? By your actions and by what you're doing, and not necessarily, how many people you signed up that day or how much Shakeology you feel like you drink or sold. It was more about what actions you were doing. And something that I remind myself too is that, everybody has 24 hours in a day. Lindsay Matway has 24 hours in a day. Oprah has 24 hours a day. Obama has 24 hours a day. And so do you. And so do I. And it's really all what we do with that and how we take that captive. There's an Emmett Smith commercial that I love. It was right after they won the Super Bowl, and he's like pumping weights and just going for it. And then it's like, time to take a break. And he looks at his watch for like 2 seconds and then puts more weight on the sides because, they just won the Super Bowl. He's like, I could take a break, right? 2 seconds, puts more weight on the sides and starts pumping even more. And the caption is, all men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. And I loved that. It just like resonated with me. And I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like we're always kind of working in our preseason a little bit. We might have these seasons of harvest, but whether you're in a season of harvest or drought, it's always going to be a preseason that you have to work through and decide that if something's not working, you got to go for something different, right? And so I just really decided, what could I do? I looked at other people. One of my success partners is from a completely different team outside the Bombshell Dynasty that is really successful. And I just, she was running these free groups and it was working for her. And I thought, maybe I should try this, even though it sounds horrible. And so I decided to go for it. And, what I have learned is, we always talk about adding value, but pouring into others in this business is definitely going to separate you from the rest. And, I decided to do a 21-day free group, which sounded kind of crazy to me. And yet I just decided, 7 days has not worked for me. And I know it takes 21 days to change a habit. Like, I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to go all in. So I just really, really, really poured my heart into this group and decided, and I'll show you guys all of it. And I have some slides to show you of some posts that really worked for me, even getting people in the group. But I really decided that if I was going to do this, I had to go into it going, you know what? I might not get anything out of this, but I'm just going to pour my heart into it and I'm going to give and I'm going to serve. And if people decide that they want to be a part of that, then I'm going to gain some really great coaches. But if they don't, you know what? I tried something new and what I was doing wasn't really working. So at least I tried something different and I'll find out. And so I just poured into it. And so one of the things I'm going to show you guys right away, and I really need to change the art, I'm just going to be honest, with my like page, but let's see. Okay, so this is my like page, and guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Before my first free group that I did, I had 1,500 friends. My numbers or likes or whatever. And I know that it doesn't really matter how many people you have that like your page necessarily, although it helps with your page to get more access to more stuff with your like page, but it's more about the people that are engaged, right? Well, what means a lot to me right here is that I only have 1,283 of my personal friends that are actually on this page. So the rest, that means, are more cold leads. And basically with this, what I did is anybody that had, at the time I only had 1,500. So anybody that had commented on anything of my stuff, I went in and I did a formula that has worked really, really well for me that I'm going to share with you guys. I did something called comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation. And I'm going to put it in the chat. I don't know how to put it in the chat on here. I don't know if I hit more, whatever. I'll put it in when we get back, when I stop screen sharing. But comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation. And so I would have said, hey, Becca, oh my gosh, you know, it's so fun to meet you. Thanks for commenting on that one post, blah, 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 blah. I see that you have a toddler. Oh my gosh, your family is adorable. I have a 3-year-old too. We're in the middle of potty training. Are you doing that at all? What's working for you? Right? So question at the end. And then I would say also, you know, I know you're part of my wellness page. I have a free group coming up and I would absolutely love to have you in it. And I would just go into that and invite them to be part of the free group. But I also wanted to show them that I was invested in them. So that's why I did that formula of comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation, because that is going to show that I have taken time to look at their stuff, that I'm interested in who they are beyond them just being in my group. And it's also going to start off a connection right away that is so much bigger than them just looking at me as a coach. They're going to maybe look at me as a friend. And that's what I want. I want to make that connection in that sense. And so, doing these free groups, one of the posts that I use, and it's funny how like we pour our heart and soul into graphics sometimes, and then sometimes we just kind of throw stuff up. And for some reason, the ones that I just throw up there are always my winning ads. So I'm not even really proud of this, but it worked. So this post right here is just my son Isaiah and I, and it's just like, you know, talking about like looking for moms or whatever. It's, you know, this kind of stuff. I had a lot of interest on this post. It was a winning ad. And so I went through all of that and I personally messaged them and invited them specifically to the group. And then I had, this post, and I actually ended up adapting this post, and this is one that I did not actually use as an ad. This was just organic, but I actually adapted this because this is way too much writing. But I basically said this exact same thing in my ad, and this was the winning ad, and it was just, you know, attention, like getting their attention. I just want to pour into people. I want to give back. I want to help you reach your goals. This is what I'm doing. And before I knew it, I had 400 people interested in these groups. And so what I ended up doing is having 200 people into my first free group, and then I added a 14-day group, and I added the other 200 people to that because I didn't want it to get like too crazy big. And so I felt like that would be a good number to kind of set them apart in a sense. And so I know, like for me too, you know, all of my 10 out of my 15 diamonds in my first business center started out as challengers first. For some reason, that has worked really, really well for me with recruiting, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do that, and I'm going to show you how I did it within my free groups. So the entire time I was doing these free groups, I was looking for coach-like behavior. I ran it somewhat like a sneak peek, but I was also really careful with that because I wanted them to know that they were in a safe place. They weren't in a group where I was just going to like spam them the whole time about my Beachbody journey. It was going to be more about them than anything. And I did all my own workouts and all of that because I wanted them to see me more and more as somebody that they would connect with, you know, with visually, and I wanted them to hear my voice. I wanted them to hear my excitement. I wanted them to get to know me so that when they do decide to really take their journey a step further, they're going to think of me to be their coach. And so one of the things that I did is I'll go ahead and show you the page, and you guys are probably going to laugh a little bit because you have the queen of graphics here and branding. And I'm not going to lie, you know, it was during spring break time. So like my cover photo and stuff for the page is just like some palm trees and some affirmations, but it worked for this group. But so one thing that I did, and you'll see, is I did a lot of videos. And I really, so for all of, it was a clean eating and workout challenge. And what I did is I did my own workouts. And so in these workouts, I would have like a week 1 workout that I would pin to the top. I'd have a push-up challenge and like a workout where if you went through the video, it has weighted squats, it has different things that they could do. And I would give them a beginner, advanced, and a moderate setting of what to do, as you can see there on the page. And I did that because I polled them at the beginning and said, what levels of fitness are you guys at? I really got to know them. I also messaged every single person out of 400 people individually, Sometimes I had no idea if they even received my message, right? Because sometimes Facebook does that, but I decided it would be worth it. And with my faith, I just prayed about it and just said, all right, whoever's supposed to see this, will see it. And I asked each one of them individually, you know, what are your goals? What level are you at? I also asked on the page, but I wanted them to hear from me personally. And I did get a lot of response with that really helped me start building relationships. And so, and I also did a couple of videos where I would just talk about my own journey and just introduce them to the fact that I wasn't perfect. I actually said in one of my videos, I talked about just my heart for this group, but I also talked about my struggles and how the 21-day fix did help me. I did talk about that because it's part of my journey, but I didn't dwell on it. I didn't continue to, you know, throw stuff at them in that sense. It was really all about them and this clean eating journey and all of that. So then when I saw people that had really, really, really great, and here's, there's that beautiful cover photo. That's horrible. With those affirmations. And, you know, here's the deal. You're going to see very, you know, I'm a daughter of the Most High King, all that kind of stuff. If you can see that, maybe you can. Oh, there we go. That's because my audience is that audience. And so whatever your audience is, it made sense for me in that sense to make it very faith-focused because I know who my audience is. I know who I target in my ads. I know the people that connect with me best. And that used to really scare me. But if you know you and what can, you know, what is going to set you apart and what's going to make people want to gravitate towards you, you got to own it. I used to be so afraid that if I was just me and I talked about my binge eating issues from the past and I talked about my faith, that I'd be excluding so many people. But truthfully, I maybe did exclude some people in a sense, but I brought the right people in. And so I knew my audience. I knew the people that I had targeted with ads. And so this made sense for me. Okay, so one of the things that I did is when I would see some coach-like behavior, I would go ahead and message them. So, and I know a lot of this is a little faith-based, so just if that's not your gig, don't worry about it. Just work with me, okay? Because there's more to it than that. But anyway, there's a girl on here. Her name is Bethany, and she ended up being one of my coaches. But she wrote this in the page, this post here, and just said, this group is such an inspiration for me. I love, you know, she's like, do you have any prayer requests? Right? Totally like my market. And I'm like, okay, look at this leader. Like, she's already like, how can I help you guys? You know, I always look for people with the gift of encouragement because as you guys know, and as I know, we are not experts necessarily. Some of you might be, but I'm not an expert on nutrition and fitness, but I'm a really good encourager. And that is what makes me a good coach, right? And so I look for that gift. And so when I see that, then I go here, and this is a cookie cutter situation. I'll show you one that's not so cookie cutter, but, and just say, hey, Bethany, I love your heart. You are exactly the kind of heart of somebody that I would love to have coach on my team. Would you ever consider coaching at all after this 21-day group is over? No worries either way. We're such a strong Christian team, and you seem like a great leader. Boom. Then she says, yes, right? Okay, so cookie cutter. Yes, that's a huge part of my calling on my heart just to do that. I used to weigh this much. Now I weigh this much. I just wanted to look the part of a personal trainer and, you know, have my basically, I need to submit myself to a leader and have my, you know, talk the talk and walk the walk. So I just said, I'm pumped for you. Would you be willing to help me with this group a little bit? Then after the 21 days is over, I can officially sign you up and we can start working together going forward. That way you really get a taste of what coaching is as well in the group. What are your thoughts on that? And she's like, that would be an honor. Right? So we go from there and I send her a template, right? I send her the template for the group and I basically just say, here's the template, make your posts on Mondays and Wednesdays your own and feel free to use this, but if you want to add Bethany Taste into it, great, and add your own picture to it, graphic into it. Then what I would do is I would introduce her to the group as a 21-day challenge coach, just like I would for anybody in my team page. But I would just do it within the group and I would build her up and affirm her and let them know that they would be hearing from her. And if any of them were interested as well, that I would love to have them help with this, with coaching the group in their own way as well. And I had 6 people step up and do it for the 21-day group, and then I had 6 people in the 14-day group do it. So I was forming 12 coaches. I ended up signing 10 of them up. So this 21-day group that I was so afraid of ended up being this powerful, powerful tool to be able to recruit more coaches. And again, I had to go into it because I didn't know, and now I'm going to be honest with you guys. I decided to only do this once a trimester, and so now I am doing a 14-day free group coming up, and it will be my second one ever of the long ones. And so I won't do shorter than 14 days, but I do think 14 is good. 21 didn't seem long, but I want to do 14, and I think once a trimester is good. I almost did once a quarter, but I feel like that's too much because I'm promoting my other challenges as well. So here's one more example, just because I think it helps to actually see examples. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me know if you can't. But here's somebody that became a coach, and I did the same message to her. Hey, I see that you would be such a good leader. Would you ever be interested in coaching at all before or after this group is over? And just hearing what she had to say. And she said, I'm considering it. However, I need to work into it slowly. I hate to play the single mom card, but I'm trying to balance parenting, all that kind of stuff. And I just, no worries. Would you want to help coach this 14-day group starting on Monday? After it's over, we can get you signed up for a challenge pack. You can decide if coaching is really for you, etc. I have a template. It's really easy. And she's like, I think that'd be okay. I think I just need to listen to my gut and take a leap. And then I just say like, awesome, I'll add you to the group and message you and Megan, another girl, right? And we'll go over stuff. I'm excited. Me too. Like you, I've battled weight and anxiety for years. And we start to get more, there's actually more to this conversation, but we start to really get into, her fears, her hopes, her why, all of this stuff behind her weight loss journey and behind her personal journey and why she might be afraid to coach. We get into all of that. And so and we have 14 days to go through it, right? So we really end up connecting on a personal level, which means that she starts to trust me. And then we can connect overall as coworkers, coaches, friends, all of that good stuff. So that's just another example, and then I would introduce her just like I did with Bethany to the group. Another example of what I did as I continued to go through the page is, and I do points because I'm a sapphire personality and I love prizes. Like I love games and prizes and all that fun stuff. And so so you'll see points on here, but I basically just said, it's halfway mark, woohoo, post a fun picture below of your workout today and on your timeline and tag me in it. It can be silly and they'd get bonus points if they would tag me and stuff on their own timeline. And then I would add in mine. Below is a fun pic of me and my diamond leaders at our retreat on the beach. I took them to in Florida. I had a master trainer come and work us out by the pool. It was so stinking fun. It's so great to have this community. So I would breadcrumb little seeds about my team, our community, our friendship, our, bond, and about my son. Like, yeah, I get to be home with my son now because of coaching. What is your passion, or what do you do throughout the day? How do you work? Just different stuff. I would breadcrumb it, and I would always give an example, and I would try to bring it back to coaching, and I would always try to be real, and I would talk about parenting struggles, all that kind of stuff. So, so that they could, number one, relate to me, and also feel like, man, if she can do this, I can do this. I always want my coaches to feel like there's absolutely no reason why they cannot do what I have done in this or what I'm doing, right? And so it starts at the beginning, and it starts before they join. They have to see that you are relatable. And so this was a way for me to connect with them and relate and show them how much fun we have. Okay, so that was kind of how I did that. And then throughout the page, I had, let's go back. Throughout the page, I did towards the end, and I still go back in there now. I'll like talk about different groups I have coming up, and I talked about winners and all that kind of fun stuff. So you'll see that kind of stuff. But I would really just, here's somebody who Sarah was helping me coach. We would go through that. Just had different stuff. I would show some of my results, my before and afters and different stuff. And then I would have them share stuff. And it was just a really, really fun group. Now, did all 200 people participate? No, but we know that that's going to happen, right? I did everything I could to engage everyone. And we always have people that are flies on the wall. But once in a while, some of those just surprise you, right? They'll come out and they'll be like, I want to be a coach. And you're like, you never posted once, but that's great. So you just never know how it's going to work. But yeah, so I believe that's what I have for you guys tonight, just explaining it. I wanted to leave time for Q&A and respect your guys' time as well, and just be open to any questions that you have, because I know if you haven't done a lot of free groups, sometimes this can be a lot of information or different stuff. I will say too that I do run all my challenge groups this way. I haven't worked too much with the Challenge Tracker app, although I have some coaches that love it. But I haven't worked too much with it because I like to try to get my challengers to help me coach my challenges. And that's been a really great recruiting technique for me. And so that's something that I don't only do in my free groups. I try to do it within all of my challenge groups. And, 10 out of 15 of my diamonds said no to me twice. My top coach told me I was part of a pyramid scheme after she said no twice, and then she asked me if she could join. And then the other 5 said no to me once, at least. So just remember that. Like, sometimes they have to go through the challenge. Like, usually now when people say no to me, it's just to check off my list. I know that it takes on average, the normal person 7 times to hear about something before they'll commit. And you might be their first time, or you might be the 3rd time, or the 4th time, or the 7th time. And so I just always think if they said no, that I just wasn't the 7th time that they saw an infomercial or heard about it. And so just keep that positivity going, and it'll help you for sure. Did you do Beachbody workouts for your free group? How did you decide what workouts to do? I did not do Beachbody workouts, partly because, again, I wanted them to just really gain their trust in me. There's so many Beachbody coaches, but there's only one Jessica Pesola, or there's only one Brittany, or Susie, or Cindy, or Becca, right? And so I wanted to just be me in it. I just basically filmed all my own workouts. I definitely used some of, different techniques that I've learned from Beachbody videos, but I just did my own and just kind of created it and had fun with it, and got outside on my deck and had somebody hold my iPhone, and we went from there. So just pretty simple, right? But how long did you make your workouts? I'm going to go back and look at that and show you guys, because that is a really great question, and I want to be accurate. Let's see. So I go back up to the top. I go photos. We'll look at videos here. Okay, so this one just shows the move. So you'll see, like, this was the week 1 workout, and I had pinned to the top, push-up challenge, start with 5 to 10 today. At the end of your workout, advanced, start with 20. Sorry. And then it would say, like, feel free to do them on your knees, all that kind of stuff. And then do each exercise 6 times through, 3 sets of the exercise 20 times. You will burn some calories. And it was fun because I tried this on my diamonds before I posted it, and they were like, that was a good workout. So it wasn't like just totally guessing. Beginner, no weights. Don't worry about speed. Just finish the moves. Moderate, I had them speed it up and try to do it all in 15 minutes. And if you feel good, do it again. And then advance, take it up a notch, do 20 jump squats between each set, and double it all up to 12 times. So I really tried to make it where people could challenge themselves, but also, like, if I had somebody that was brand new to working out, we all know that the worst thing you can do is have them totally overdo it and never want to work out again in their life or quit the group. So I wanted to have it kind of structured where they could build. on that. Does that help? Sweet.
Yeah, this is amazing, Jess. Anybody that has questions, go ahead and write them in the chat. Just go ahead. Like, you don't have to wait until there's a lull. That way we can cover everything all at once. Jess, I wanted to ask a question that I know has been asked a lot in my big team page for people that are wondering about how to do these groups. So for the 21-day group that you did your own workouts, and it's just kind of general as far as like clean eating and all that kind of stuff. So did you create all of the content ahead of time, or did you kind of like go do it each day as you went? Because I know you said you sent a script out to the girls who were kind of rising up. So did you kind of take some time and bang all this out ahead of time?
Oh no, girl, I'm not that organized. Like I am not type A. I'm musical and artistic, and I'm not type A at all, right? So what I did is I actually took my regular 21-day challenge template that I use. I kind of switched between two of them. And I took that, and then I just would change a few words to clean eating. So it really only took me like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I could just send off a template. So that was really, really helpful.
It's basically your challenge group. You're just, instead of saying your 21-day fix, you just say your workout of the day.
Absolutely.
I know all of my Emerald personality coaches right now, their brains are like exploding with all of the details and the possibility for this. So good to know, guys. Just don't overthink it, and you can use the template you already have.
And that's the biggest thing is like, trust me, you guys, if I can do this and be who I am, because I have ADD and all of that good stuff, right? It's what makes me me. But if I can do this, especially if you're an Emerald personality, you can more than do this. I'm just looking at some of that. I didn't use I didn't talk about Shakeology other than like when I posted my meals for the day underneath the main post, like I had everybody else do. I might say something about it then, but I didn't say anything about it in the post because again, I didn't want them to feel like they were being spammed with something. And I didn't overthink that though either. Like I still showed it and stuff. I just wasn't like, this is what, you need to drink or something. I talked about how it worked for me.
So you're not repeating it. You're just not necessarily featuring it in your main posts.
Exactly. Like it's a part of who you are. So don't overthink that. Like, I think sometimes people are like, I don't want to push anything. And it's like, you know what? Like it's who you are. It's what's worked for you. It helped me lose 50 pounds. I'm okay with showing that I'm drinking it and enjoying it and loving it. How much time did I spend on my stuff with the free group versus vital behaviors? I do a live power hour every day with anybody from my team that wants to hop on, right? So 6:30 a.m. we do a live power hour. I had some coaches really struggling with hitting Success Club, and it was coming down to the power hour was getting thrown out with just all the summer activities and stuff. And so I said, okay, like what time works best for you? And unfortunately for me, they all said 6:30 a.m. So that meant that I had to get up and do it with them, right? So we do that every day. We've been doing that since the beginning of May, so not super, super long. And then after that, I would, I would always do a power hour, and then I would work on stuff. And honestly, I buffer. I don't know if you guys use Buffer. Becca, do you use Buffer? So do you know Buffer? Are you really familiar with it? Yeah, so it's been so helpful for me with my groups. I can literally buffer out a group for a very long time. And then once I had girls that wanted to help, I really only had to post in that group once a day. I'm sorry, I only had to post in that group once a week officially. I would still check in. I would still do all of that. And I also had a girl that wanted to intern that helped me. And she would go in and help me just make sure I had seen comments that were probably very important or different stuff. She would help me with that. And that was really good too. And that was not anybody that's a coach or anybody on my team, but yeah, it was really helpful. So yeah, just because there's so many people, and I paid for ads, and I did split testing for my ads and stuff, which is a whole nother category, but that was really, really helpful too, because I could find what my audience was attracted to the most and what was getting the most likes. And then when I saw that, then I just pumped that out. So, so that's what got people in my group. I also, guys, I left the group public until the day we started, and I told them that. So I said, we're going to leave this public, so invite your friends. And then they were like tagging their friends in the page, and they were like, join this group, like this coach is doing a free group, like join this group. And they were like advertising for me, which was awesome. And then the day that it started, then I closed it so that it could get more personal and not be so open. Yeah. So did you invite each person to your Beachbody group at the end of the 21 days? I sure did. 22 Hardcore had come out, so I wanted to invite them. I basically just said, if you guys want to take your results up a notch, because I had one girl lose 23 pounds in 21 days. I mean, it was amazing. And so I just said, like, if you want to take your results up a notch, like, let's do it. This is how I would love to continue to do it. And I signed up, 10 people after the group. Most of them had helped me coach it. Actually, all of them did. Anybody that signed up had helped me coach. And I still have tons of leads from this specific group and the 14-day one that I'm still connecting with. We know sometimes it can take a long time. And so I follow up with them each month. I ask them how they're doing, that kind of thing, and invite them to my groups. Did you invite people to purchase a challenge pack and join a challenge group after the yes? I just didn't make it. I just didn't overthink it. I announced our winners and everything. And then I said, hey guys, just so you know too, I'm doing a special challenge. And like I just said, to take it up a notch, that kind of thing. Yep. So just one workout per week. And they were supposed to do it, 6 out of 7 days out of the week. They were also totally welcome to do any other workout that they wanted to. That was just the workout provided. So I really only had to make 3 different workouts and post them to the top for each week. And there was no reason why they couldn't do the same workout for 6 days. They would just they'd get better at it. And then if they wanted to go running, or if they had other things they wanted to do, they could. But it seemed to work well. They kind of got excited about it, or they did better, they got excited, that kind of thing. I did do a preseason, but it was just all get to know you. So it was all just like, let's get to know each other. What stage of life are you in? Are you married? Do you have kids? Like that kind of thing. And that was really, really helpful. So yeah, best advice for running Facebook ads, that is, take Jesse Reagan's training. Honestly, that training, I believe it's just really, really helped me. It's taken my business to a new level with cold leads. My warm market is still there. I've added people to it every day in this business until I maxed, and it was, I continue to do my 5-3-2 system. Do you guys do 5-3-2, Becca? Have you heard of that?
I know a lot of people do it on Instagram, but if you want to go ahead and just share how you make it work on Facebook.
Okay, so I do 5 new conversations a day. That's that comment plus compliment plus question equals conversation. I do that to 5 different people a day. I invite 5 new friends a day by just going to like my high school friends and going to their high school friends that I'm not friends with and adding them. And then I do 3 invites a day going back to people I've already 5'd previously, and then 2 invites for people to be personally sponsored coaches on my team. And that can be people that are already challengers, but I just go in and I invite them to be a coach on my team. And I actually do a lot more than that when it comes to inviting. During qualification, I haven't, because my whole focus has been on that. I've just done 5-3-2, but I used to do like 20 invites a day or just different stuff like that. And so it's just a different type of recruiting at the moment, but it will go back up to that. So.
Hey, Jess, can you elaborate on what you mean when you say invite? Because I know that is a hang up for a lot of new coaches. And I think that when you're a new coach and you hear on trainings a lot of coaches say, oh, I invited. it can be confusing to what they really mean. So when you say that, do you mean that you did a post on Facebook saying that you had a challenge? Did you mean that you just connected with someone? Or do you mean that you literally said the words, would you like to join my team, or would you like to join my challenge, like in a private message?
In a private message, I personally invited them to join my challenge. So yes, inviting can be posting and all of that, but at least 3 personal messages of inviting a day, because the truth is that for me, what I have noticed is that a lot of people can see your post and go, oh, that's cool. I'm glad she's doing that. That sounds fun. Good for her. Right? Like, oh, cool for her. But when you actually reach out to them and you say, you've been on my heart. I don't know if you know this, but I'm an online health and fitness coach. I actually don't really call myself a Beachbody coach, not because I'm not proud of it. I am. But again, I want them to remember me as a coach, because there's so many Beachbody coaches. And so I just say, hey, I'm an online, I don't know if you know this, and this is after I have 5 to them. Remember, I've already created the conversation about their kids and complimented them. And I will say, I'm an online health and fitness coach, and I have this awesome challenge coming up. It's all about just support and accountability, and it's whether you just want to stay in great shape or tone up or lose weight, whatever your goals are. I know I've lost 50 pounds doing this, and girl, it'd be so much fun to do together. We should totally do this. Are you down? Are you interested? And I do a lot of that over voice memo just because of my energy. And I honestly get so many more invites in when I do voice memos. So if you have that kind of energy, go for it. So I'll get like a message back, oh my gosh, that was so cool. I didn't even know people could do that, and then they're like, I don't know, I'll think about it, or whatever. And you follow up. I had one of my diamonds literally was going to get her credit card. She's like, okay, we had put everything in for her to be a customer. And then she was going to get her credit card. And she's like, I'll call you back. I can't find my card. Didn't talk to me for 4 months. Every month I would follow up. Hey girl, I know that we weren't able to connect, but I just want to let you know I have another, challenge coming up, and you are still on my heart. I would love to do this with you. Would that work for you? And I always end with a question. And after 4 months, she finally said, hey, like, I've been getting your messages. Okay, I'm ready, and I want to be a coach. What? So follow-up is so important, and do not get bummed when they say no, because they will. Okay, so just expect it and go, that's probably smart to say no to something at first when you're trying to figure it out, right? So yeah, I hope that helped. I know I'm a talker, so just stop me.
No, it's great. Everybody's got tons of questions, so it's awesome that you're a talker. Okay, so to recap really quick, you can correct me if I'm wrong on anything. Basically, what you're saying that you're doing is you're doing a 21-day, 14 to 21 day, so a 2 or 3 week free challenge group that is basically the same thing as a challenge group. You're just not requiring anybody to buy a challenge pack or be doing any Beachbody things, but you're using just a tweaked version of your challenge group script and just fostering a lot of energy of support and encouragement. And then you pinpoint those challengers that are really getting active, kind of message them, pour into them, and say, you're amazing, you're so inspiring. If you ever thought of being a coach, would you just want to help me out with the group, see how it feels? And give them a little bit of responsibility in the free challenge group. And then at the end of it, just, tell them how awesome they were. If they were, like, don't lie, obviously, but if they were really good at it and they loved it, encourage them, to join your team, get a challenge pack, get signed up. So would you say that you got more coaches than challengers out of it then? Because you were saying pretty much everybody that bought a challenge pack also signed up as a coach.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was more of like a sneak peek than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah.
And it was, I think too, a lot of those people actually engaged because of the first messages I sent them with the people that read them and got them. So when I was like, like, Becca, I'm so glad you're in this group. Like, I wouldn't even have known you. And I would be like, I'm so glad you're in this group. Like, you know, what are your goals? I want to get to know you. I saw your profile pic with your little boy. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Tell me more about what you want out of this group, you know? And I would just try to get to know. And so then those people that would see those messages and, you know, get them, some of them I believe became more engaged in the group because of that.
Yeah.
That helps. That was a great recap though. You were dead on. During the free group, would you give them ideas of what was different between the regular challenge group and what, you know, I didn't really go there because again, I wanted to just pour into them. I mean, I think that the best thing I did was show them, you know what I mean? Show them my coaching abilities, show them what they would have in a coach. And then I talked about how these workouts and these meal plans can accelerate your results when I was presenting the test group for 22 Hardcore to them. Did you run these free groups with your own coaches and I just did my own, partly because I like to kind of try things and see if they're going to work or not, and then get my whole team involved. You know what I mean? I wanted to kind of like check it out and see if this was going to be beneficial because to be honest, like I said, my 5 to 7 day free groups that I'd done in the past, like I did some of the same things, maybe not as detailed, but they just really didn't go there. And the best part about these longer challenges is getting people to help you coach. So how did you decide what workout to share for the week? I had made workout videos for my wellness page. And so I honestly just used some of those. I had made different videos that I wanted to, we know that Facebook honors videos a little bit more than photos and regular posts. And so I've been making a ton of videos for my like page and then I just used that. So yeah.
Cool. And you guys, remember that this is not the only way you could do it, but you can definitely use this format and tweak it to fit you. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking like, I have no idea what to even make for a workout video, you could, but maybe you're into yoga or maybe you're into running. You could do something with what you're already into and what's kind of your thing. Or maybe your thing is clean eating and you could do recipes. So don't let the details stop you from, you know, thinking it out and getting creative about something that would be a really good fit for you. And this is not something that you have to do, obviously. This is just a fun example if you maybe want to mix it up. Maybe want to just bring some new energy, try something new. And this is also, I think, a really great option if you tend to have a lot of people that have price objections or that are saying yes and ghosting on you, or maybe they're just on the fence, to kind of reach back out to them with something that you can offer where they can get plugged in. So it's not kind of like this tension of them wanting to join you but not being willing to buy a challenge pack and then you're at a stalemate. This is a really good way for you to have a space for those people to still feel plugged in, where you can still be pouring into them and showing them the value of coaching and what we do in the community. I think that was a really cool point, Jess, that the one girl that lost like 20 pounds or whatever, 13 pounds or whatever it was in the group. I think that that's an insanely amazing point that I wanted to pluck out, because one of the things that I hear a lot of people say is that like nobody wants to join the challenge group with them because they don't want to have to get a challenge pack. They don't want to program in Shakeology. Like they're just going to do it on their own. And I think that it's a great thing to remember and realize that there are tons of ways to lose weight, right? There are tons of ways to get healthy. People could go outside and run every morning, and they could go online and find clean eating recipes. They could go on YouTube and find videos. The magic of what we do as coaches is that support community in the groups. And so Jess was able to show people that magic in the free group. Like Beachbody isn't magic. Shakeology is not a magic pill. Our workouts aren't magic. It's just about getting people moving and eating healthier, which they can do anywhere. But the true value of what we do as coaches is that community of support where it's a safe place for people to come, where they feel like they can connect, where they feel encouraged. So I thought that was really, really cool. I think there was one more question from Kristen, and then maybe we'll wrap it up. Jess, is that good?
Okay, so Kristen, you said, how do you keep things fresh? I'm really committing to coaching this month, like for real, and have gotten some good responses, but sometimes I feel like I'm just trying to make a sale, even though I totally believe in the company and what it has done for me. You know, I think, you know, something that I recently did, and I'll just say this really quickly, but something that I recently did with my PS coaches that were struggling with Success Club is I got them on a call, and I had taken time to put a collage of all of their kids in a collage. And the reason why I did that is because I know my coaches, and 99.9% of them, their why has to do with their family. And I just pulled it up, and just looking at that, there was some tears, because it was powerful just to see their babies. And I just said, when we think about Success Club like points, or, you know, or just money in a challenge pack, it is sales, right? And that might not be what you're specifically doing, because like you said, you believe in it, but sometimes I have been like, I've got to hit SC10, right? Or something like that. And that's okay to think that, but overall we have to remember the core of why we do this. And it's elementary, but at the same time, it's so important. And, you know, I just basically said, you know, are they worth it? Are they worth your time? Are they, you know, the most important thing when you're doing this? And then I pulled up a collage that I made of all their transformations. And I basically just said, you know what? Olivia was 2 Success Club points. She's lost 45 pounds. Like, look at that. Was that worth it? I was 2 Success Club points. Becca was technically 2 Success Club points, and so were you. And it was life-changing. So always remember that what you have to offer has literally changed complete lives, whether it is with weight loss or whether it is being able to be home as a mom now with my kid, because that's important to me. Like different stuff like that, that's got to be the reminder and the core of what you're always doing. It's going to be so much more powerful than if you get 2 Success Club points and get to go to a star party or whatever, right? So, of course you can friend me, guys. Yeah. If I am maxed, I might be maxed. If I am, connect with me too on my wellness page for sure. You guys are awesome. It's been such an honor to get to talk to you tonight. Thank you, Becca, so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I know that this is a busy week for you. I haven't been in 15-star qualification, but I have been in 13, and last week was crazy. So I know this is a crazy week for you. You're probably running between the raindrops. So I really appreciate you taking time out late at night to come and hang out with us and just share some tips about what's been working for you. And hopefully you guys got some nuggets of inspiration, some new things to try, or maybe just a reminder about why we do what we do, even if, you know, free groups aren't necessarily for you. So thank you guys all for coming. All of you guys on our team, thank you guys for coming, for giving us your time. I know everybody juggles a lot and is super busy. I appreciate when I get some FaceTime with you guys on these calls. And I will try and get the recording up really quick for your coaches that couldn't make it. Make sure that you go on Jess's Facebook page and leave her some love. Let her know how much we appreciated her being here. And I'll see you guys on there. Bye.
Aw, thanks, Becca. And my team is buzzing about your call, girl. They are so excited about it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I know that you bless my team so much. So you guys have a wonderful night, and thanks again. All right, bye.